Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. And my Instagram fans, welcome as well. Welcome to my show. As you know, we have a lot to talk about, as I always do, and we hope you call into the show tonight. One of my other Instagram accounts doesn't seem to be working. I don't know why. Maybe it's I don't know why. Who cares? I'm going to push the button one more time. Hopefully it works. Let me see. What does it say? Close friends. I don't know. Anyways, no, it's stuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know, guys. I wish I knew what to do to get that. Let me see. I'll push that button again and uploading, and who cares, right? Anyways, my son will take care and turn that on live. But here's what I want to talk to you about. Before our other listeners come on the show, you know that this was a very rough week. You know that it was tough. What happened? He's blocking the screen. Don't block it. With your hand again, he's blocking it. Welcome again to the other. Welcome again. It's not connecting on. I don't know why. Maybe it's not the Wi-Fi. Who knows? So here's the thing, my dear friends, and my YouTube listeners and my Facebook listeners. We have to discuss what's going on in New York City, but we have to discuss what's going on in America, and we have to discuss the politics that's going on in the United States. We have a lot of issues. You know, my election is coming up very soon, June 27th. I've sent out mailers. I've sent out flyers. I talk about videos. I send out funny videos. I don't know what else to tell you. I can send you out a message, but again, it's up to you. It's up to you to make a decision. And the second you take away that power, the second you give up that power, we don't have a choice, because the politicians you put in charge are just lost. The politicians you put in place are gone. And that's no good. Maybe the Wi-Fi is not working, my dear friend. Anyways, I want to talk to you. We're going to talk a lot tonight about Trump. I want you to call into the show. Our number is 646-974-1580. 646-974-1580. You can call into the show and ask me any question you want. I'm going to repeat that number in about another minute when we go live with YouTube and Facebook fans. I want to talk about Trump, very important. The illegal arrest. Yes, you heard what I said. The illegal arrest of a president on a 1917 stupid law. Really? Is that what we're interested in? What I'm also telling you is that they're trying to scare us again. They want to take away our freedoms. They want to try to take it away. And I keep repeating this. Now you're going to say to me, Heshy, your propaganda. There's no such thing as these people in power pushing it away. I went to a speaking event yesterday, a Republican club event, where I wanted to go speak. They invited me to come speak, and what happened is you didn't push the button. You have to push the button to start the show. It's not starting. It's not going to connect. Whatever. Who cares? Oh, maybe it started. We're live. Welcome, my other Instagram fans. So I went to speak at this event, and I started to tell my mind about a certain political Republican leader by the name of Ted Gora. All of a sudden, I was interrupted and says, no, we love him. He's right. He's right. He's right. He tried to stifle my speech. He tried to stifle my freedom to run. He's tried to stifle or take away my power to become the next city councilman. And now I'm welcoming my radio show fans from channel 1640 AM WPJR, channel 620 AM WSNR, and WVIP 93.5. As I was telling my YouTube followers and Facebook followers, welcome to my show. Welcome, Just Enough Heshy show. I went to this Republican club, and I was talking about Ted Gora. This is the Republican leader who allows a Democrat, maybe he was paid off, to run on the Republican line. And let's just say that he wanted to be fair to everybody. He went out and collected signatures for the Democrat to run against me, the Republican. Then what he did is when I took pictures with some of the people, he told them not to take pictures with me, and I laughed at him. My point to you is that these people in political power, and I'm going to give you a quote about Trump, trying to control us. I will not allow that. To tie into my website, heshytishler.com, we can still use a contribution. It'll pop up on the YouTube and Facebook link. HESHYTISCHLER.com. You can make a donation, don't make a donation. I've raised the funds. I'm going to win this battle. I have my advertising out. I have my stuff out. But my point that I want to make to you is I believe in the freedom. I believe in the Constitution. I carry it around in my pocket with me daily. I've showed it to you before many times. I believe in America's future. I believe in the Constitution and freedom. Anyways, here comes our show. And of course, as you know, I always do a quote and a joke of the day. So here goes our quote. And this quote is by my president, who will be my president again, President Trump. And we'll talk about it. You can call into the show, everybody, 646-974-1580, 646-974-1580. And here's your quote. 3 quotes by President Trump. Nothing is easy who wants to get nothing. That means if you want to do nothing, it'll be easy to get it. As long as we have faith in each other and trust in God, very important, then there's no goal beyond our reach. There's no dream too large, no task too great. And that's my point that I want to make to you. I believe in God. I believe in my fellow Americans. I believe there's no task too great, and my dream of becoming councilman, of helping others, I believe I can get it done. And I believe I can get it done this time with your help. And finally, and this is the one I'm talking to you about, the politicians, the leaders who think they can control us. They are the politicians that believe that they have a right to tell all of us, 8 million New Yorkers and 300 million plus Americans, to do whatever they want. In America today, established politicians have betrayed our workers. They have betrayed our borders. And most of all, they have betrayed our freedoms. You know what they did to us during COVID. I had a talk with somebody the other day. COVID is real. I said, COVID's not real. COVID was never real. I don't understand why my producer's telling me it's wrong. COVID was not real. I believe COVID wasn't real. They didn't give us medicine. They didn't get us healthy. They had a new plan. Sure, people got sick and died. We didn't take care of them. We didn't know what we're doing. We don't have leadership. Just like I'll tell you about what Mayor Adams' no leadership is like. He has his police commissioner quitting already. It's not the first time. He has a whole bunch of people leaving his administration. One of the first women police chiefs. No control. City's going to hell. Anyways, I want to tell you a joke. Then we can start talking serious. I was in college. And, of course, I didn't have a car like you rich people there. So me and my friend Moish used to take the train to school. One day we were riding to school on the train when a homeless man on New York City subways came over to us. And he begs for some spare change. So Moish, my friend, adamantly rejects the man in disgust. While I, on the other hand, pull out my wallet and I give the man $2. That's what I had, and I wished him the best. The homeless man thanks me kindly and continues on his way to other passengers. Moish, my friend, was outraged by my act of generosity. He said, "What the heck did you do?" And he shouts at me on the train. And he says to me, "You know, he's probably going to use it for drugs and booze." And then I replied to Moish with a smile and said, "And we weren't?" You know, that was a joke because we were in college and everybody used drugs and booze. Anyways, I thought it was funny at the time. He shut up. Anyways, I want to give a shout out to my friend, Sergeant Peter. You've been wonderful. My granddaughter, Mira Nava. Ellie, don't forget you, Ellie. I never forget you every week. Layla, my granddaughter, and Yeshua. And all you people out there, welcome to my show. There was a fire this week. A fire. And Lenny is going to call in. Lenny, my friend, the cop, is going to call in. There was a fire in a building. The homeless services couldn't take care of these people because of all the immigrants taking up our homeless places. They couldn't. They had no place for them. One of the politicians in the neighborhood was screaming, there's no place even to put these people in homeless shelters. There's no money. 72,000 immigrants and more are coming. $4 billion added to our budget. I had an argument today with a couple of lawyers. The paperwork you're doing is not quick enough for the C of O for this guy's house. How come they didn't enter it in so well? I said, because you're spending the money other places. Our Department of Buildings and Department of Finance don't care about us. They close their windows at 12:30. You don't hire the right personnel. Unacceptable. The city is not doing their job to service our community. Our people are losing money. They can't close on their houses. They can't get loans to lower their interest rates. So what happens is they pay another month and another month and another month. Mr. Adams is lost. He's a nice man. Don't get me wrong. You know, I made a funny video before we came onto the show of me standing next to a pink elephant. Everybody didn't understand that. Was questioned, why did you pick a pink elephant? Because I'm a Republican, so it's an elephant. But why did you pick it pink? Well, I want to tell you something. Miss Letitia James, okay, our Attorney General, and you're going to love this. She's angry why Letitia James slams Target, moves to pull all the Pride merchandise. The New York officials have signed a letter regarding Target's move, according to James, who called the decision wrong. Now, people are angry that you're making a special section for children gay clothing. You can't do that. People don't want it. And they're losing money selling it. But they're forcing them to do it. So Target says, no, we're tired of losing money. So they're telling them it's wrong. I have to lose money to be here, or I'm scared you're going to sue me. This is my point to you where the politicians can push us around. Let's go to the main story of the night. President Trump being arrested for the dumbest thing on the planet, for declassified papers. He's the president, but let's just forget about it. They're putting him in jail for treason, for trying to give away our secrets. Really, does anybody believe this? Does anybody believe this? And how come they haven't gone after Biden? There haven't really come out any words. This is a political thing to stop a man from running president from interfering in elections. So originally you all told me, well, there was no election interfering. There was no electioneering or changing or false balloting or stuffing the ballots. Let's just say we believe all of that. What do you tell me now? You're going after a man who's done good, who's donated. You call him a racist when he has more black friends than anybody can ever done. He's donated to black colleges and black institutions. Forget the Jewish institutions. Forget all the Christian institutions. Forget the Muslim friends that he had. When he was in the White House, all the religions were able to come to him. The whole world loved him. No wars, peace. He actually made peace between Arabs and Jews. Impossible stuff. He moved the embassy like it was promised while everybody else lied. You didn't catch him with one lie. And what happens? With election interfering into his election. Yes, he's moved up in the points. He's moved up. He's gained more ground. He's going to win the nomination. I just don't know why you people even think Biden has a chance. I love this guy Kennedy who's running against him. I really do like him. I love Kennedy running against Biden, but I just don't want him to run against Trump. I don't want him to run against Trump. Two reasons. One, I don't want him to win, but I don't think he has a chance against Trump, but I don't want him to lose because I want him to run in the next election. If there has to be a Democrat, I'd rather have it as Kennedy, not any other idiot. I don't think I'm ready for DeSantis. Everybody says DeSantis is great. I'm sorry. I don't see DeSantis being that great. I like him as governor. I'd like him to have another 4 years of experience. See, I'm running for city council. I have no actual political experience in the council. I have political experience behind the scenes dealing with politicians, making deals with them, but I've never sat there and learned how to play the game. Mr. DeSantis didn't do that either till now. He's now starting to become a good governor. It's his second term. He's into the game. Let him continue playing and saving Florida and showing us and showing the world what Florida can do and give us an inspiration. But don't think you can run for president. We tried that once before with who? Barack Obama. One-term guy runs for president. I don't know. Everybody says, well, he was reelected. Every president gets reelected. Oh, Trump wasn't reelected. Okay, it happens from time to time. Again, we're saying election fraud, election cheating, but he lost. However, he lost. And it does happen. We've had it over the 250 plus years of American history. So I'm trying to make a point here. People, get yourself up. We don't want to cause trouble. We can fix things. We don't need to go backwards. We need to go forwards. I had a friend of mine for 30 years. His name was Benny. His wife was Esther. My best friend from fourth grade. When I was 16, he dropped out of school, and he met his future wife, and he ran away. And I always used to complain to him when I spoke to him on the phone. It's not fair. You left me in boarding school. I'm here all alone. I'm stuck. You're my best friend. And one night, like 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock at night, he came in. He kicked open the door to our dorm room where there was like 30 or 40 kids sleeping there. And he says, Heshy, come with me. And I packed my little suitcase, and I jumped into his car, and we started driving. And I tell the story a lot. He said, where do you want to go? I said, let's go to Atlantic City, and I become a dealer. And like 2-3 miles down the road, we pulled over for some drinks, and I said, you know what, turn around. I want to go back and get my diploma. I want to go to college. I think it's a mistake, and thank God I did that. We became friends for many years. We helped each other in his problems with his marriage and his home and his children. They all called me Uncle Heshy for many years. He was there when I got married, and we did some business together. And he became more successful, and so did I. And at the end, about 10 years ago or 14 years ago, he got a little greedy, and he took whatever we were supposed to be away. And he stopped. He disappeared. And for money, for stupidity, for not sticking by yourself. And I always told him that I always will stick by him. Anyways, I went through my trials and tribulations, and I came back. He ended up losing everything he had. He got sick. They had to move to another state. And I never spoke to him again. Now I hear he's very not well, and I got about 2 in the morning, I got a call, New York time, because they live in Arizona. They're a few hours back. And his wife called me and said, we're in trouble, and we have nobody to call but you. I said, 1 minute. You messed me up. You screwed me. You cheated me. You hurt me. You didn't even come visit me. You didn't make a phone call. You didn't apologize. You want me to help you? And I really was upset. I said, to myself, I don't care that she suffers. I don't care that she's sick. I don't care that he dies. But then I knew when she started crying and telling me her stories, I felt sad. And I said, when you come to New York, I'll see what I can do to help you. You guys have to stick and be honorable. I've always done that. I'm not preaching to none of you. How I fought the secret, how I fought the FBI, and how I keep things quiet, and I only work with the police when I have to. Loyalty is the most important thing. New York City, to me, is my home. I can't leave because I'm loyal. It's not just to the city. You think that the city is the greatest thing in the world. It is great. Do you know, and we have a lot of issues, that New York City is, where is it? I have these numbers here. In New York City, we are like 30th. It's a shame when I'm going to tell you this number right now, and I was reading it. It blew me away. That New York City is like in child, I can't even read it. I was so nervous about it. That New York City is like 30th in the country with child care. We have to understand that we're not taking care of our children. We're not taking care of our homeless. We're taking care of me. Now you're going to say, Heshy, well, then let's leave. It's like you're telling me that I want to leave the country. I love this great country. I'm an American. I will not leave America. I will not go to another country. A lot of people do go, and they can. That's the beauty of America, that we let you come and go as you please. I love this country. I run my blood red, white, and blue. That's what I told at this conference the other day. yesterday at this Republican club. And New York City is part of me. I grew up here, raised my children here. I love this place. This is my home. What, you want me to pick up and leave because it's too cold and too hot? Yeah, then maybe for that I would go. It's too cold. But I have my family here, and it's just not easy to leave. But it's not only the easiness. I worked so hard. This is one of the greatest cities in the world, and we're letting it fall apart. And if we let America fall, if we let New York City fall, other people say, hey, let's become a ghost town. Let's give it away. We're not giving New York City away to nobody. We're not giving America away to nobody. We're going to defend its borders, and we're going to take care of ourselves. You know, Governor Hochul was booed the other day very badly. Governor Kathy Hochul was blasted for New York migrant crisis. There's been zero leadership by this crazy Governor Hochul. Zero. Her ongoing deferences to Adams demonstrates a passive approach to the growing crisis fueling the conflict between New York City and local governments as where to house the migrants. There's nowhere to house them. So Governor Hochul has no idea what she's doing. She throws it on New York. New York City has nowhere, so we try to shove them upstate, but when they're not going, what is it, a few of them? So it's costing us billions of dollars. We have criminals that are coming into our country. We can't take care of our own homeless as it is, and now you're giving away our homeless places, where if you clean it up, and we pay them $5,000, $6,000. Like Lenny told me, there was a fire in a building. They had nowhere to go. This is the one time that these people actually would have gone to the homeless, and there was no place for them. Mayor Adams then comes back with another complaint that he says that he's cutting funding to the homeless projects. He's cutting funding. Now, you must explain this to me. Homeless is a problem, and you're cutting the funding to a program that doesn't work as it is. Either cut it out completely and rebuild, but you know the homeless issue works. How can you cut funding for the homeless? Where are you cutting it? On their mental health problems? On their housing? On the food programs? If you do that, you know they're going back to the trains. You take them off the trains, you're going to put them in the jails. They're going to commit crimes. Crime after crime after crime. Somebody stabbed somebody on the train this week. I'll go right down the crime list together. A stranger threatened to hurt a toddler in a stroller before repeatedly stabbing his mother in broad daylight in downtown Brooklyn. Broad daylight. Should I keep going? Another guy on the train. I mean, we have all these cops on the train. Pushed somebody onto the tracks. Stabbings, shootings. Do I have to tell you that we have over 500 shootings and it's only June? 400 and something fatalities. It's only June. How many more murders are going to happen? You guys think that, the numbers are not so bad. We have 8 million people. Why? Why does one have to be killed and shot? Let's stop guns. So again, at the club yesterday, the lady says she's scared. She actually applied. The lady applied for a gun license. She's scared. She never used a gun before. But she got angry at me. She was the leader, one of the leaders of the club, is because I was screaming at about a guy by the name of Ted Gore, the head of the Republican Party. And she defended him. She loves him. He did a lot for the party. My problem is doing some good and not finishing the project or going out for yourself is not worth it. You're right. Sometimes you have to do bad till you get to the finish line. I believe that these guys don't have honor. They're lifelong politicians that don't care. I'm not going to be talking bad about my competitor, Kalman Yeager. I should. A man who's done nothing for the community. I can talk, it's so much I can say bad about him. I'm not interested. I'm going after you guys to look at my history of my performance. But we're going to get rid of that now because I don't want to bore you with my things. I want to bore you with, oh yeah, by the way, I wanted to wish my campaign manager, Jeff Paff, his mother passed away this week, Maria. I went to the funeral. She was a good woman. You know, mothers are very powerful. The mothers are the one, us fathers, we try to give love. We hang out with our daughters. We hang out with our sons. We go play ball. But the truth of the matter is, a mother's love, a mother's aroma, her smell, her that ekes out of every pore of her, the love that ekes out of every pore is something you can't match. You're right, the father is an equal partner. The father has to be there. The father can give love. Sometimes there's only a father, not a mother. But mothers are holy. Mothers are special. He lost his mother, so I'm sorry. But, and it's sad. But, the mothers in our country have built this country. Most of them are great. And we raise the next generation. We have to understand that 50-something plus percent of our population are women. They are our mothers. They are raise our children. Sure, a lot of times there are fathers who are like Mr. Moms. Great. And you have to always give love. But I'm telling you, fathers and mothers, I miss my mother who's gone for 6 years. And guys, when this time comes that she's gone, suddenly, you're going to regret not saying hello. And I'm not here again to preach to you. Go home and kiss your mother. Go home and love her. Go home and love everybody if you can. Hate doesn't work. I know. I have a lot of people I hate. Today, a friend of mine passed away. His name is Abe Kornbluth, a young boy from cancer. I went to his funeral. Wow, it was like about 1,000 people at the funeral. And it was a shame that people even thought that I was something, that I came to that funeral for some kind of publicity stunt. I did not. I came there because I actually love this guy. When I went into the restaurant where he worked, he always gave me a little speech on the side and patted me on the back, and he knew that I liked a latte. And I says, well, I'm not going to buy a latte over here. It's like $19. And he says, no, I'm not charging you. I said, you can't do that. You have to make a profit. He says, no. I'll charge you like a coffee. I know you want the latte and you won't buy it. Not that I was being cheap. Don't get me wrong. I was in the restaurant. But I just didn't want it. And he knew what somebody wanted, the little things. Your neighbor needs a bread, but she's not going to ask you for it. When you see the garbage sitting there or the mess outside, you can take your broom and sweep up. When it's wintertime and your shovel is there, you know they're going to come out in the cold later on. You can push the shovel a little bit more. This is what I believe New York is about. You're going to say, Heshy, New York is not a little town. It's too big. It's too powerful. It's not. New York is a town. I'm a New Yorker. I love New York City. I love my neighborhood. I love the people, the synagogues, the churches, the mosques, the garbage men, the policemen. Our politicians try to take away not only the freedoms of our people, but he took away jobs from police officers who wouldn't take the shot. He took away jobs from sanitation workers and fire department people, made them suffer. Yeah, they got their jobs back now. They might even get some of their pay they lost. You made us go through because you were incompetent. When you do a job, you have to be competent. We are electing people who have no idea what they're doing, and they're incompetent. You know it because they're giving a little bit more to your church, because they know how to pitch your product, but you're not doing the research. My opponent didn't even put in a blurb or a picture into the voter's guide. He believes he won straight out. He's a Republican. He's not a Republican. He's a Democrat. Now, if he would have at least switched parties, I can agree. If he ever voted Republican, I can agree. But he doesn't. I at least have a history and a track record of being part of a Republican club as a Democrat, voting Republican election after election for Ronald Reagan, for George Bush, for Donald Trump, even for Bloomberg as mayor the first time. I didn't really like Bloomberg, but he was the only person that was competent at the time. Rudy Giuliani, without a question. Rudy Giuliani, without a question, for mayor. But, my dear children, it's up to you. You are smart enough to do this. You are competent. You don't have to be led by the ear. Here it is. City Hall passes cuts to homeless shelters as budgets talk drag on. Department of Homeless Services is ordering layoffs and cutbacks It depends on to provide crucial services for City Hall from nonprofit organizations. So now this company is calling my nonprofit, me, as well as many others, because they want to cut budgets to help the homeless. That's how they're going to do it. And where they're going to throw this extra money? To waste. Here's something in the news, and I want you guys to hear this. We all talk about anti-Semitism, hate crimes. You know, when the Black Lives Matter came to my house to attack me, you know, I'm a big guy. Couldn't really hurt me. He hurt other people. And he ran away, and we caught him. He tried to kill me, whatever it is. And now he's sitting in jail for 18 months. Big deal. But they let him go once. He had to go attack 3 more times. He could have killed somebody. Instead, they put me in jail because I had a protest that turned into some kind of a screaming match they called a riot. Nobody got injured. Witnesses. They tried to bring 20 police officers to testify against me. They wasted tens of thousands of dollars and my money as well on legal fees to try to lock me up. At the end of the day, they gave me 14 days probation, while they let this criminal, animal, hateful person with anger issues who had mental problems out the next day on cashless bail. Then they gave him probation. He had to attack 2 more people till he got his 18 months in jail. You beat up people, abuse them so badly that they're in the hospital, and you get 18 months in jail. And not once, it's the 3rd time. But, so let me tell you about hate crimes. We all know about the CUNY hate crimes, the CUNY College hate crimes, the city college. So the Jewish activists, they want the CUNY the law dean fired, stripped of credits over the hate speech. Now, the Jewish activists are demanding that the CUNY brass fire this law school dean, Suda Sethi, for allowing grad student Fatima Masua Muhammad to deliver hate speech. You get up there on the happiest day. You have a few hundred graduates with you that you're supposed to talk about the future, things you've accomplished, things you want to accomplish. Instead, she gets up there and curses out Israel, hates the Jews. They have to be punished. That's her thing. Forget that she embarrassed the Muslims, and she continued to have, very bad vibes between the Jewish and the Muslim, which I have many Muslim clients and friends and foster friends and kids that have come through my house and that I love, so it doesn't affect me. But it's that we didn't teach our children to stop this. And you allow them to get up there. And we allowed them once, but a second time? Now, here we go. Just like the Jews don't like what happened, the professors of the City University of New York, the CUNY, accused CUNY's leadership of attempting to restrict freedom of expression for chastising a law student's fiery commencement address. First, they want them fired. So that's the Jews. The professor is saying not only not fired when we try to admonish the person for doing something bad. Oh no, the freedom of the right to create hate. The professional staff defended the graduate Fatima Muhammad after last month's commencement address was labeled as hate speech by the CUNY board. The dean didn't do it, so the board of directors said, the board of trustees said, hey, this is a hate speech. The PSC, which represents the faculty, the professors' union, the facility at the CUNY, said that the board's mischaracterization could have chilling effect on the Campus Academy of Freedom. During her May 12 speech, I want you to hear this, Muhammad attacked the state of Israel, Zionists, for incriminating killings of innocent Palestinians and called the NYPD and the military fascists. The law school graduate accused Israel of indiscriminate murder, encouraging lynch mobs and lauded resistance. She wants lynch mobs to go out there. She's calling the NYPD fascists, just like the Black Lives Matter. Who do you think protected them? The NYPD. We're allowed to say whatever we want, but we can't lie about it. Even if you want to lie about it, don't use the podium where you're supposed to do something different for something else. And this is where it all comes together, my dear children. Mr. Biden is president of the United States of America. The United States. not just the federal government. He represents all citizens, including Donald Trump. The Attorney General is his worker, just like everybody else. He's the top boss. He knows this is wrong. I was in court a couple of months ago for a trial, and the person that my friends were representing and the people that I helped put together, he was found guilty. Found guilty. He was not guilty at all. The judge knew what the prosecutors did was wrong, and you've heard this many, many, many times on many, many different cases. And we couldn't believe it when the judge came to the end of the ruling. He said, this is wrong. This is wrong. There's no way that this man is guilty. I heard the evidence. I don't know what you were talked into. I don't believe it. The judge said, I don't believe it, and dismissed the charges on the spot. My question is, why did the judge not do it right away in the beginning? But I guess because till all the evidence came out, he couldn't rule on something. Maybe something came up. That is the right way to do things. That's what a boss does. I'm the boss of a company. Yesterday, on Tuesdays, we have lunch in our office. I buy lunch for all my staff on Tuesdays. We sit together, we have a chat. One or two people don't come. And I give them our order, and I let them order from different places. Sometimes the people in charge don't care about somebody else. And I teach my workers, if you don't care about my people, or you don't care about my clients, I don't want you working for me. You have to care enough that when you come into work, that you don't go home and you don't know what's going on. This job is a job that you must take care of somebody. So they ordered lunch, and Linda was with me. And Linda ordered a fish plate. And I guess they didn't have it. They didn't even feel like calling me back. They just didn't order her lunch. When lunch came delivered, they called us out of our offices, and we looked for our food as well. They didn't have it. I said, didn't you call us for another option? You had no problem asking me for my credit card. I got disappointed. I said, I don't understand. You don't care enough only about yourself, and especially if I pay and I give it to you. I have a nephew. I can't tell you his name. He asked me to help him get a job. And I called up a couple of my friends who owe me favors. And I got him interviews, 4 interviews. Remember, he doesn't want a regular job. And I sent him around, and I'm not saying his name. Don't worry about it. I sent him all over the place. And finally, he did a couple of good interviews. So I called him up. I said, June 27th is coming, and I need you to come help volunteer for me. He says, well, Uncle Heshy, I might be busy. I might be busy. I said, well, understand, you asked me to spend hours and hours of my precious time, and you tell me you're busy? It's family. I understand that, and he's a young boy. He doesn't know better. But we have to teach our children to care about others, to do good for others, to go out of their way. That's what I do. Somebody told me today, a nice man, and I'm going to say his first name, Stephen, Heshy, you do a lot. We know what you do for the community. I said, I don't do it because I have to do it. I do it because I need to do it. I need to go out and do good. We need to help one another. To sit at home, you're right, I do want to have my pina coladas and watch TV all day long. But the truth of the matter is, just because I want to do that doesn't mean I can. Doesn't mean I have the funding to do it, even though Linda has money. But I'm not saying that I would do it. You can't give up your responsibilities. And I keep quoting this every single week, and I'm going to keep throwing it at you. It's not your ability, my dear friends. It's your responsibility. It's not only your responsibility to your fellow man, it's a responsibility to your God, to your neighbor, and to your country. Heshy, I don't want to be responsible. I don't owe you anything. I work hard for myself. I take care of myself. I don't need nothing from nobody. First of all, everybody needs something from somebody. You get your garbage picked up. You get your police that gives you the protection. I know you pay your taxes. You get your firemen to be ready in case there's a problem. Even though you've never had a fire, you have 50 smoke detectors. These are the things that we give you for security and your peace. The freedom that we have a 1 million-man army and nobody's ever going to attack America. We spend billions and billions of dollars on our budget to scare other countries, to give you a peace that you can sleep at night. I love when people tell me, I don't even need anything from you, Heshy. I know you don't. But when you do, I'm here for you. And because I fought for you, I was in the park the other day and playing around, and a lot of people came to thank me. And another guy says, well, these are public parks. What you did was wrong. What do you mean what I did was wrong? What do you mean what I did was wrong? I want to put on my advertising when I'm advertising now for my campaign. I want to put a picture of me cutting the locks. So one of my lawyers and my son says, well, if you do that, they're going to have evidence. Till now, I said, they have my videos. They have evidence of me cutting the locks here. But he says, you're admitting to it. I said, I admitted to it. My freedom is allowed and never allowed to be taken away from me. My freedom is there. I didn't do it out of hate. I did it out of necessity, not only for myself, but for my neighbor. I made my driveway into a park. I was a frontline person. I was there at the time. I was helping feed people, bringing food. I wasn't like the other politicians that show up once a year and carry a package. I do this every week. Would you like to know my schedule from the morning to the night? We're going to take a phone call. Let's take a phone call. By the way, you can call into the show, but we're going to take a phone call because I'm sure you guys are getting angry at me screaming at you. Because Donald Trump, guys, we have to support him. We need like a worldwide, but forget worldwide, a countrywide protest. But I'm tired of protests. Protests are stupid and rallies are stupid. We did all that. We don't have to go out and scream and holler. We need to go to the polls and vote him in by a massive margin. On June 27, I need you to come to me and give me help with massively standing at every poll and come out to vote. We need to show force, not just 2 votes. We need to say, hey, make that change. Who's on the line? Hello?
Me,
Lenny? Lenny, how are you, Lenny?
Lenny.
I told everybody in the beginning.
I'm not good.
You're not
I'm
good.
not good at all.
Tell me what's wrong, Lenny. Tell me what's wrong.
What do you want me to start with?
Well,
You want me to start with?
you sent me a text. You sent me a text. No, I don't want you to start with Trump. Trump is going to be the last item because that's an agenda of the. But you sent me a text today. 1 minute, Lenny. You sent me a text today that upset me, and I want you to tell the people because they don't believe me. What was in that text?
I'm watching Channel 2 News, and this is why I even typed it in to your thing here. I typed it in. This was on Channel 2 News. Somebody that was representing the city actually said the 100 people that are being displaced from that fire in the Bronx, they don't know where to put them because of the migrants. So now, and most people that they were interviewing were speaking the English language, okay? So now you're taking Americans and you don't know where to put them because the Red Cross that responded to this disaster has nowhere to put these people because of the migrants. So, I mean,
and these are also minority New Yorkers.
yes,
So it's like
yes, they were exactly the people that were on. I were minority, and this is what I'm saying. This mayor stood in the beginning, way back when Texas and everybody didn't want them, and he says, come here. Well, they did, and now he doesn't know what to do with them, okay? He doesn't know what to do with them. Now, that's on that subject.
but Lenny, before you go to the next subject, Lenny, what do we give a crap? What do we give a crap? I mean, I'm being facetious here, but I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's not me. I don't care. Why should I even care about somebody in the Bronx? Why should I care?
You know why? Because they're Americans. Maybe some of those people, those 100 people, maybe they fought in one of our wars. Maybe they have an uncle that fought in one of our wars. Maybe they have a child in the United States Marine Corps, the United States Army, Navy,
Police.
That's why I care. That's America. That's John Wayne's America. That's what I'm mad
And
about.
that's why those parents and grandparents fought so their children can have a better life.
Exactly. Not for what's going on today. Not for what's going on today. They come here, they have no money. We give them cell phone, we give them clothing, we give them food, we give them shelter. I mean, come on. Go in the doorways.
Right.
I said it a million times in Manhattan. Find out how many of those people that haven't had a bath in years are ex-military people,
Right.
too.
Right. And you know, and Lenny,
They're just down on their luck and stuff
I know.
like that.
And Lenny, what bothers me as well, Lenny, is that we keep complaining that, like for example, on the abortion issue, she gave $35 million to abortions not to be done for the citizens of this state, but for people from other states. Use the money for our people. We're giving away our money, our hard-earned tax dollars, to people that are not entitled to it.
At the end of your show last week, I don't know if your full audience heard me. She appointed a judge that's a transgender person.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care if people like what I'm going to say or not like what I'm going to say. If you want to cut your body parts off to be the opposite sex, I think there's something wrong with you.
But Lenny,
Now,
Lenny,
people
I
may
don't.
not agree with me.
But Lenny, it's not that we don't agree with you. We don't care what you want to do in person, but don't go representing the rest of us. You know, this Sunday I went to
You're going to make this person a judge?
and it gets
You're
worse.
going to make a decision, you or I, that he can't make a decision if he wants to be
But
a man or a
but
woman.
but Lenny,
Come on.
it gets worse, Lenny. You and I are religious men. You're Catholic or Christian. I'm Jewish, so we believe in our beliefs, and we don't want to be gay or whatever we want to be. We're allowed to do whatever we want to do. But the point is we don't mind if you want to do something yourself in your own private home. But this week, I was at the JCC Community Center, the Jewish Community Center, where it was made for religious people, and they invited the Christians and the Muslims there, which is a pleasure. All the religions are invited. They went up, and this religious Jewish councilman, religious, Kalman Yeager, what did he do? He calls up a gay, transgender assemblywoman. Now, I don't care if she wants to be transgender, and I don't care that you elected her. You bring her into a house of Jewish people who are religious and don't believe in what she stands for, and you're giving her an award. For what? Now, go give her an award somewhere else. Go make her a big dinner somewhere. Go give her at one of your political events, but not in the Jewish Community Council Center. Not in a yeshiva building.
Heshy, how many of your listeners today know that it's Flag Day? United States of America, how many of your listeners know it's Flag Day?
I don't think.
Target put out displays of the American flag, which, by the way, stands for everybody, because the United States, to quote Scott Lebedo, the painter activist in Staten Island, the flag, the American flag, is a flag for everybody. It's a flag for Jews, Italians, Irish,
Right.
Indians, whoever, because the lady in the harbor says, give me them. And that's what we are. We're a nation of outside immigrants.
Well,
okay?
Lenny, Lenny,
where did-
I got you. They should know about it, and we should tell them about it. But Lenny, we're running out of time, so I want to have a very important question that I was saving to the end of the show, because you were a police officer. As you know, there's a person by the name who is an ex-Marine. His name is Daniel Penny. Do you know that name?
I want to talk about that.
So I want to tell the listeners and the audience, Daniel Petty was a man on a train. He even told everybody his story. This guy was acting crazy. Jordan Neely, screaming at people, throwing things at people. He's been on the street. His family didn't take him in. He mistreated his own family for years. They threw him out. He's been in and out of mental hospitals, breaking car windows. He needed a lot of help. He was on a train in a small space, threatening other people. This ex-Marine tried to stop him. He couldn't stop him, so he put him on the floor, and they say he put him in a chokehold of death. I don't think he was in chokehold of death. He was holding him down, and maybe he held him too tight by the neck, or something happened, and he died. Forget that the guy was on drugs. Forget the guy had other mental and health issues. So now they let him go, and now they have a grand jury that this man who saved other people, who didn't do it out of maliciousness, who had no intent to kill this man, and he said himself that the guy was bothering him, just to leave him alone. They're going to give him 15 years in jail. What do you say about that?
You know what, Heshy? In 1920, they would have gave this man the key to the city, okay? And you want to know something? If you indicted him today, you should have indicted de Blasio's wife, because she had over $1 billion to help a person that was like this man that died on the train that day. Nobody knows where that and that money was set aside for homeless and for people like this man. So if you're going to indict the United States Marine who paid his fare, that went on a filthy, dirty subway with crime-ridden that it is, if you're going to indict him, then you know what? You ought to bring de Blasio's wife down and indict her too.
I believe you should.
Because
I
she
believe.
took the money.
I believe you should be indicting De Blasio as well on all the stuff that he did, and the people like Governor Cuomo are allowed to die in the nursing homes. Oh, he didn't know. You didn't know. So if you're incompetent, don't make up a law that we can't visit our family members. He made up a law that we can't even sue the nursing homes for any improprieties. So even if the nursing homes did negligent homicide, and Lenny, if they had negligent homicide, you couldn't arrest them.
Yep, he wouldn't use the shit that Donald Trump said with doctors on it. He wouldn't use that. He should be incarcerated too. He's nothing but a phony, just like his father was.
Well, I got to get you off the line before we finish up, but I want to ask you quickly. Trump, I mean, are we crazy? Really? Are we crazy, Lenny? I mean, I didn't believe in a million years. I mean, I know what they were threatening him. It's not possible. It's not legal, Lenny. Lenny, it's not legal what they did. They found a law from 1917.
What they did is going to start more trouble than January 6th ever did. Remember, the majority of Republicans belong to the NRA. I'm not threatening anybody, but we'll be damned if we're going to keep getting stepped on the way we are.
Well, we let them get away with January 6th. We're not taking those people out. We're not raising...
Your show every week. I want people to know. I write comments in the New York Post. I'm friends with Scott Lebedo. Anything that he prints, I spread it throughout Facebook and everything else. We have to start fighting back. This has to end.
But how can we fight back, Lenny, if we don't... But Lenny, if we don't go out to vote, we don't go to the polls, we don't make a change.
They want to, Heshy, they want to complain. You got to go pull the lever. You got to stop teachers and that's the problem. Your professors in this country are saying it's okay to teach elementary school kids about having two mommies, two daddies, and your daddy is your mommy now. You can't have this. This is wrong.
And you're forcing department stores to sell clothing that they don't want to sell and they can't make a profit. I have no problem that people have gay fashion, they go open up a store for gay people.
I don't either.
So, but don't force, and if Target wants to, 1 minute, Lenny, if Target wants to sell this, fine, but don't force them into selling it. It's illegal, again, and we're forcing them to do it.
It hits you as soon as you walk into the store. But how many flags did they have on display today that the United States declared today as Flag Day? How many?
Did you go to any of the Puerto Rican Day parades on Sunday? Was it Sunday or Monday? What?
No, it was Sunday.
It was Sunday.
I used to enjoy them when I was a police officer.
Oh,
I
really?
used to enjoy the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Well, they were wild something, but they were very nice. And I thought that I passed by one of them in Brooklyn on Fifth Avenue. I thought it was great. I saw the policemen laughing and having a good time over there. And it's good. I like when policemen get involved.
Working that parade. Always had a good time. Always had a good time working that parade.
Well, the Puerto Rican people are American citizens. I have a question for you. Puerto Rico has a lot of issues. Puerto Rico has a lot of problems with building their stuff. Why don't we send all the migrants to Puerto Rico, build their population, and maybe they can help, fix. There's a lot of open space there on lands. Maybe the migrants could be housed over there and they can do some work there because over here in New York, there's no jobs, I'm sure.
You know what? You got a better idea than Adams has. Because you're not saying to dump them there. You're saying to put them to work there.
Put them to work there, to repair. Remember, there are tornadoes and hurricanes and so on. I'm sure a lot of them are qualified to work. We're going to say goodbye to all of our radio listeners from 93.5 FM, 1640 AM, and 620 WSNR. Come back next week. We love you. But we got still a few more minutes to our show, Lenny. And final question to you, Lenny. Final question.
Yes.
Election day is coming. The people that are not voting, or the people that want to vote but feel, Lenny, if I go vote, my vote is not going to count anyways. Explain that to me. Explain it to me.
Talking about
In my district, it will.
In your district, every vote will count. When you're talking about a presidential election, no, we go and vote in Staten Island, and Staten Island always carries Trump or whatever like that, but we lose in the electoral. But we still go out and vote. We still go out and vote. And you should. You have that right. That is your God-given right in this country to pick your elected officials. And you know what? That's why I call your show every week. And not to repeat myself, but this is what I do. You got to get the message out. People have to vote, and you have to make the right choice to save our country, save our state, save our city.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Lenny. You are the best. I miss you, and I hope on election day on June 27, you come out and help me volunteer and bring me some friends.
I will be in Brooklyn that day. I definitely will be in Brooklyn.
Get me a bunch of guys. We got to attack all the poll sites, and you would be a great advocate for me, Lenny. I don't even need you to stand there. Just drive around my car all day long and feed my people. I could use you just to do that, Lenny.
We'll speak.
I love you, Lenny. Well. Thank you, my brother. So, guys, you see, it's not Lenny's opinion that makes a difference. Lenny's an average New Yorker, a police officer, a servant. And I'm not picking Lenny. I'm not picking his friends from Staten Island. I'm not picking the people from Brooklyn. We're angry. We're angry. And Lenny's a police officer. He doesn't like to see people die or killed. And if somebody does something wrong, they have to be punished. He's a man who has 30 years of experience. So if anybody knows that a guy like Jordan Neely, who was killed, who died, not killed, died, and we're now going to take this ex-Marine Daniel Penny, he didn't have any intent. It's not even a negligent Habanai mistake. He was trying to defend himself. The evidence proves it. The people prove it. The people on the train testified for it. And still the government is going after him to try to get the grand jury to get him to be guilty. They say today that if you want to indict a ham sandwich, you can. They went after Trump on stupidity. It's illegal what they've done. I mean, really, do we believe Trump is espionage? Do we, even if Trump did forget to officially declassify, do you think he had boxes of clothing and stuff that they took away? You have every president that has done this. Every president from day one. From Nixon to Ford to Jimmy Carter to Barack Obama. All of them have stuff they took home. Somebody's forgot something in their briefcase. Somebody left something in their drawer. It's impossible. Kennedy, Roosevelt. Let's go all the way back to Lincoln, who took stuff home with him, who wrote his paperwork. Adams, who wrote all his memoirs and took home all his presidential stuff. You're right, the law only started in 1917. We have to understand that these presidents are very busy. They have a lot on their mind. They're constantly called at home. They're called in the middle of the night. They're called in their bedrooms. They're called on parties. So you're telling me that he brought something home, or they gave him something, or he put it in the drawer, or he had to look at it later on? And even if he took it home as a memento, I'm sure it did not endanger the country or the secrets of the world. I'm sure that classified top secret information he didn't take home. Anyways, my dear friends, come on back next week. It'll be 1 week. Right now it is 13 days to election on June 27th. I can use any volunteer I can. My email is justenoughheshy@gmail.com, JUSTENOUGHHESHY@gmail.com. Or you could just come into the office, to the campaign headquarters. Go to the website, heshytishler.com. You'll get my address and phone number. I'm sorry about the echo. I don't know why we get it. Come on down. I love you all. Thank you again for listening to my